Hi, my name is Paige and welcome to my September TBR. So I feel like I briefly mentioned last month that I just wasn't feeling as inspired by my TBR in general, especially my board game element. And the more I got to thinking, the more I felt like my TBR jar has been stressing me out quite a bit lately. I feel like I get to the end of the month and I just have all of my prompts looming in the back of my mind, and it's running into, or I'm running into the issue where I'm not able to finish the video ideas that I've been planning because I'm trying to prioritize my TBR so that I don't have to take punishments, and I'm getting really stressed out from my TBR. So I am going to take a little bit of a break from my TBR jar, though I still love pulling prompts. I just feel like I need to collect myself, gather my thoughts a little bit, and finish out some of these video ideas that I've had on the back burner for quite a while. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to ignore my TBR jar for the month and try and catch up on a lot of the clear my shelf videos that I've had sitting on my iMovie and waiting to be edited because I haven't finished all of the books. So I think I have about 10 to 15 clear my shelves videos that I've been in the middle of, and we're gonna try and finish out at least 3 of them, possibly 4 of them. So behind me are all of the books that I'm going to need to read for those. The only prompts I'm going to be fulfilling are things like my 12 and 12 classics challenge that I'm trying to do, as well as the buzzword readathon and any book club picks that I have. So let's start off with book clubs, because I just remembered that I do not have a physical copy of my book club's pick, Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This is for the Story Continue book club, where we basically read retellings or anything that we might consider a fan fiction. This year we've really been focusing on different types of retellings, and we have been doing fairy tale retellings for the past 3 months. And so we have picked Gilded, which I cannot tell you which fairy tale retelling it is, but I do know that it is a very loved story. So if you would like to join us and read that one, I would definitely recommend that. And you can find that in the description if you would like to join us. But for my other personal book club that I have with 2 friends, we are reading Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. And all I think I know about this one is that it is definitely queer, and I believe one of the characters was like raised in a cult and has escaped this cult. So this one I might not have to finish this month, depending on when we decide to meet up, because our book club, we have very aptly named the Snail Tales book club because we read like snails a little bit when it comes to book club selections. So I don't know if I have to read this by the end of September or early October, but we will try and make a little bit of a dent in this one by the end of the month. And I'm just gonna start going down this line and showing you all of the other books that I'll be reading. Starting with The Vanishing Half by Bennett. This is for a Clear My Shelves video, though I might not be able to finish this one out this month because the Libby hold through my library, I have 3 library cards connected to Libby, and I feel like the longest wait is about 8 weeks. So we will see on this one. Of course my camera's dying, I definitely forgot to check that. I'll be right back. And next up, for another Clear My Shelves video, I will be finishing The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. And I read The Atlas 6 only a couple of months ago, and I immediately bought this because I was so interested in carrying on with this book and wanting to know what was going on, what was going to happen with the characters. And my Libby hold said it was going to take like 12 weeks to get in, but it magically just showed up today. So I can start this very, very soon, and I'm excited to see where this is going. I might have to refresh myself on the character names from book 1, but I'm excited. Then the next 2 books I'm going to talk about, I have already finished one of, which is Fairytales from Verania by TJ Klune. I finished this morning so that I can jump into the next book in this series, The Damning Stone. This is part of his Tales from Verania series. This is technically book 5. This is like 4.5, where this one is 3 retellings of very well beloved fairy tales like Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel, and Cinderella that TJ Klune absolutely defiles in the way that TJ Klune does. And then the 4th one is a canon-based story on the history of 1 or 2 characters from the Tales from Verania series. And so finished this out this morning. It was a wild time. It also made me cry, but are we surprised by this one? So technically this was read in September, so I'm counting it for my TBR. And then this one is not following the same main character as the first 4, which was Sam, a wizard in this kingdom. This one is instead following the prince named Justin, and he and Sam have a bit of a strained relationship, even though they became friends towards the end. And it seems like it's Justin's love story, so he hopefully gets to meet the love of his life, which is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about him as a main character, but I'm still eager to see where this one goes. For another Clear My Shelves video, I can't remember at this point, some of them are, some of them are not, I will be reading Fable by Adrienne Young. I think it's a Young. It looks like there might be a G back there. And I have absolutely no idea what this one is about. Let me double check. This is not at all what I thought it was going to be, but it seems to be about a woman named Fable who is left stranded on an island after her mother drowns and her father abandons her, and she needs to go and find her way back to her father for some reason, and she enlists the help of a trader to help her survive this island and get back to where she belongs. I think I have just heard really great things about it, and I've seen people with the other cover that like makes her entire face, which is really pretty, so I don't know what to expect, but it is part of Reese's book club, which is something that I've been trying to read this year and I have not read any from so far, I think. So this will be my first Reese's book club pick of the year. Whoops. This one is definitely for a Clear My Shelves video. This is The Lost Hero by Riordan. This is the second like Percy Jackson type series, or like the, I don't know, it's another one of his series. I think Percy Jackson and some of the characters from the original Percy Jackson series show up in this one, but this one I think follows the Roman gods instead of the Greek gods. I could be very wrong. I have put this on many a TBR and have taken it off immediately just because I don't know, I kind of got over the Percy Jackson hype after I read the initial series a couple years ago, and then I just like haven't wanted to carry on. So I need to for the sake of that video, so we will, but it's just a lot thicker than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a short story, and the audiobook's like 17 hours, so it's gonna take up a chunk of time, but we'll get to it. We have to finish out that video. So my next book is All My Rage by Sabba Tahir, which I think is actually supposed to go in the same video as The Lost Hero. So if you can figure out the thread that connects The Lost Hero and All My Rage, I'd be surprised. But this one is not a fantasy, I don't believe, and that's how I know of this author. So it seems like it's a story about 2 friends who have had a major falling out and the aftermaths of that fight that they had. Not certain what it is, but I have heard good things about it from the few people I've heard that have read it. So this one I don't really know much about, but I liked An Ember in the Ashes series. I didn't love it. I had my issues with it, but I liked it enough to want to pick up a different type of genre from Sabba Tahir. So we will see how I feel about this one, but I do need to read this soon. I already have the Libby hold for that one, so hopefully that encourages me to read it quickly. We are then going to be reading The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is for the buzzword readathon, which this month's word is game words, and this is the only one that I feel like tied in with games. So I've heard good things about the series. I've heard it's really fun, and I think the audiobook's shorter too, so I might be able to fly through this one, which really excites me because there are so many books on this TBR when I was supposed to be just taking it easy in September. Then we have Watch Over Me by Nina Lacour. This one I am actually just trying to add onto my TBR so that I can get ahead of my Goodreads goal. So after I finish a book that I will talk to you about in a second, I am going to try and read this before I go to bed tonight, or maybe sometime tomorrow, so that I am officially ahead of my Goodreads goal. But I've heard that it's like a little bit spooky, very autumnal, and since we are into September, it has the spooky vibes that we are now heading towards, even though it is still 115 degrees in Phoenix and not even near fall weather yet, but this might help get me in the mood. And then we are continuing on with Rhythm of War. I was supposed to finish this in August and have that whole video out, but I just ran out of time and energy and everything else. So I'm only 12% in, 14% in, which is not very far. I believe it's like maybe this much of all of this. So I'm gonna have to spend some long nights reading this one to finish it by September. Wish me luck on that. Okay, then one book that I did not grab, that I'm not going to go grab, was To Sir Phillip with Love, which is Eloise Bridgerton's story. I am currently in the middle of Francesca Bridgerton's story, When He Was Wicked, and I'm hoping to finish out It's in His Kiss and On the Way to the Wedding by Julia Quinn for a Clear My Shelves video, which I'm sure you can guess what these are. Yes, I'm going to read all of Bridgerton and I am nearly done. I only have these 3 books left, plus the epilogues, like the second epilogues that are technically a book of their own. So I haven't been reading any of those ones. I'm gonna go back to all of the books and reread those second epilogues after I finish these. Just because I did read the one from The Duke and I, and it gave some spoilers, and I was really annoyed by that, so I've been skipping them from book 2 on. So that will be a Clear My Shelves video that I'm spoiling right here, but that's going to be coming out. And I'm having a wild ride with these ones. Some of them are wins and some of them are total misses. So those are those. And then finally, we are going to be reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have this super old version with a step back that were on my grandma's shelves, and she did not read this one. I don't even think that my great grandma read this, so I'm not sure which of them bought it. But this one was published in October of 1993, so it's a pretty old edition of it, and I really like it. So this is going to be for my 12 and 12 classics. I've been including modern classics, and I believe that this one is now technically considered a modern classic. It is really well beloved. I don't know why. I don't know what it's about. I believe it is about a society at a university, possibly. I know that people who are fans of like the Atlas 6 also tend to like books like this, and so I'm hopeful I'm gonna like this one. I am not really sure though, so we might not be able to get to it though, because I don't think that the audiobook is available for like 8 to 12 weeks, but hopefully something magical happens and it shows up quicker. If not, I might just use an Audible credit, but wish me luck on this one. I feel like I'm gonna need it. This one's also really long. It's like a 22-hour audiobook when I was trying to add a hold on it. So for me trying to take it easy, these are a lot of books that I have to read for the month, but I'm hoping that in finishing them I can get a lot of my Clear My Shelves videos out to you all. So if you see those in the next couple of weeks, you'll know that I achieved some of my goals. That is going to be it for my TBR. I don't really have much else to add. I don't want to add any more books to it. I am going to be partaking in a couple of readathons where I can. I don't think I'm going to add to this TBR, so if things don't fit, I just might not end up fulfilling the prompts for those readathons. I'm just going to loosely follow them because, again, I'm really trying to focus on getting my creativity back for some of my videos and finishing out what I started. So if you have made it this far in the video, let me know which book you are most eager to see my thoughts on, and leave me any board game or other type of game emojis that you can find. And I will talk to you in the next one. If you want to talk to me about books, I have my Instagram and Discord always linked in the description. So yeah, see you in the next video. Goodbye.